time to check on the forecast. Felt sticky out
Right.
there
It
today.
was a wee bit sticky.
Sticky.
It'll be sticky again tomorrow, and then our
Oh.
front moves through. And we have a lower chance now of severe weather. So
Right. Good.
more positive news with that front that's on the way, but with that lowering chance, because it looks like the real energy with that front is going to stay to our north. So reduction in our severe threat, but may not be quite as cool as we once thought. Warm again today. This is the 10th day in a row of 80+ degrees at MSY. So we have ended February, starting March on a warm note. And in fact, within these 10 days, 5 days of those 80s were either tying or breaking the record. You could consider 6 with having tied the warmest Mardi Gras. It wasn't a record for the day, but it was the warmest tied on record for Mardi Gras itself. 84 degrees was our high today. Again, tying the record set back in 2018, a morning low, yet again, upper 60s, lower 70s. 71 is where we dropped at Kenner. Now, a lot of folks are wanting to know if they can get out in the garden and start planting. And while I think you're probably safe, this is a look at the average last freeze. South of the lake, we've well passed that, although on record, it goes back to April 8th of 1971. So we can still get some late freezes here, though on the average, for the most part, we're winding that down. Another couple of days until we've reached the end of the freezing. Again, on average for Slidell, we've already passed that at Gulfport, Macomb, a little bit later on, more mid-March, once we've passed our average freeze. And certainly no freeze is coming anytime soon, even with our cold front on the way. 79 degrees is our high, our current temperature. Our highs got into the 80s yet again this afternoon. A southerly wind, a little bit of a breeze out of the south at 18 miles an hour. Upper 70s and low 80s and very humid, so yet again much of the same. Overnight lows only dropping into the upper 60s, lower 70s. Breezy at the moment. Winds will be settling and may see a little patchy fog during the overnight. And in fact, I think our winds are going to be even stronger, especially as we get later in the day tomorrow. That's in advance of our upper system that we're watching closely out across now. What was just kind of centered over the Pacific Northwest yesterday has deepened well across the west coast. This is the upper energy that's going to create our storm chances on Thursday and into Friday. For us, it'll be Friday morning. But as I said, it does look like the main energy with this is going to remain well to our north, and that's going to be the focus for any real severe weather. But it also looks like as this upper low pulls away, we're not getting it into the coolest of the air mass that could potentially move this far south. What at one time looked like even cooler, drier air, probably not going to make it here. Now, with that said, we are still going to see a drop in temperature and humidity for the weekend, just maybe not quite as low as we were thinking the last couple of days. Here's the base of that upper trough. Actually, some snowfall across parts of Arizona. Already severe weather unrelated to that system in North Louisiana and mainly over Arkansas. As that system starts to take shape, we're really going to see the storm potential greatest from Dallas up toward Oklahoma City, Arkansas, and even Shreveport. For us with this front, we are very much on the tail end. If we're able to squeeze out even much in the way of rainfall, that may be about all we would see. This ought to be a very quick moving line of looks to be more light to moderate rain, maybe a few embedded thunderstorms by early Friday morning. Rest of the day Friday, clearing out, drier, and starting to turn a bit cooler. As I said, the risk of severe weather has become more elevated to our north, and now we find that same corridor, Arklatex, Dallas to Shreveport, now under a level 4 with the hatched area, meaning a more significant risk of stronger tornadoes there. For us now, what was under a level 2 is now a level 1. We find that level 2 threat mainly for northern Tangi and Washington Parish for early Friday morning. But even that, I think, is pretty slim. So our temperatures, while they will be dropping, highs are still running above normal in the upper 60s, but generally lower to mid 70s. Drier air as well. Then we're right back into the 80s as we head into next week.
Chris, thank you so much. We're nearly